If you've ever bought a house, then you've probably had a mortgage. And if you have a mortgage, then you might know that it's made up of two parts. One part is the principal, and then the other part is the interest. The principal equals the exact amount of money that you borrowed, and the interest is the amount that the lender charges you to loan you the money. Now, the principal, you'll have to pay back exactly the amount that you borrowed, but there are ways that you can reduce the interest expense, and that's what we'll be going over in this video. Now, first things first, interest expense is not something beneficial to us. The principal amount is exactly what you borrow, so that you use that to buy your home. Your home is an asset. But the interest is purely the amount that the lender is charging you in order to loan you that money. So it's a direct benefit to them and not to you. And that's why you want to do whatever you can to minimize that expense. However, the way that the lenders usually structure your loans is so it's beneficial to themselves in making money off of you. So what I mean by that is that interest is usually front-loaded, meaning for the first 20 years, your monthly payments will actually be applied to interest rather than the principal. And that's important because interest is accumulated off the principal. So that's why if you pay down more of the principal, you get less interest. But that's why they front-load the interest and you're paying down the interest before you can actually get the principal amounts down. Now I'll explain this with an example because it'll make it easier to understand. And now we're over in Excel, and let's start off with an example. So assume that the original loan amount is $400,000, that this is a 30-year term, and that the interest rate is 7%. Taking that information, I plugged it into a mortgage calculator, and you can find any online. If you Google mortgage calculator, probably many will pop up. This one specifically, I used the calculator from Ramsey. With this information, it spat out that my monthly payment is $2,661. The nice benefit of this specific calculator also is that it spits out an amortization schedule, which is really this table of data showing the date, your interest amounts, your principal, and then your total running balance. So if you look at the data in column B, you might notice that it's a lot higher than the amount in column C, which is the principal, meaning this is what I meant by that is front-loaded. You'll be paying interest for a long time before the principal amount starts to catch up. And I'm scrolling as fast as I can, but somewhere it breaks even around here. Now this is a table, so if I put that into a chart, you'll see this mortgage loan interest versus principal. The blue line represents the interest and the orange line represents the principal. You'll see that somewhere they start breaking even, and that's around here in January 2044. After that, your repayments will start to more so apply to the principal amount rather than the interest. So like I said, mortgage loans are structured to be in the lender's best interest. But it doesn't mean that you have no options. And there are two ways that you can pay off your principal sooner. So the first way is really just by paying a larger amount. So paying more than what you need to every month. The second way is paying more frequently than you need to. So paying twice per month rather than just once per month. With the whole goal of this being to pay down the principal before time lets interest accumulate, which will actually reduce the overall amount of interest that you're paying. And the amount of interest that you'll save is actually pretty significant even if you're just making small extra payments every month. And let me illustrate this with another example. I'll run a few more scenarios with that same calculator, paste the results into Excel, and I'll show you there. So using the same exact example that we did earlier, over here in the upper left, you'll see that the original loan amount, $400,000. This is a 30-year term with a 7% interest rate. The monthly payment of $2,661. This is actually a screenshot from the Ramsey Mortgage Payoff Calculator. Over here, I've copied down the important information that we want from this calculator. So the original total payment, principal and interest. Again, the principal is $400,000, and over 30 years in this loan, you'll be paying $558,035. which annualizes into $18,601. So in interest from this loan, you'll be paying almost $19,000 each year. It's almost like buying a new car, except you don't get a car. Now let me show you what your potential savings would be if you just paid a little bit more each month. So if you pay just $100 extra every month, you'll actually save a total of $71,235.27 on your interest expense. That also means you'll be paying down your mortgage 3 years and 2 months ahead of schedule. Now what if you could actually pay an extra $250 every month? Well, in that case, you'll be saving almost $150,000 off your total interest expense. And that also means that you'll be paying down your mortgage almost 7 years ahead of schedule. This one's a little bit more extreme, but what if you could pay an additional $500 per month? Well, that means you'll be saving almost $230,000 off your total interest expense, which means you'll be saving almost 41% on interest, and you'll be paying off your mortgage almost 11 years ahead of schedule. So that means you're 36% faster to paying off your mortgage. So really the amount extra that you can afford and that you pay off each month is really up to you and your personal budget. But even small payments have a really huge effect. For example, if you remember, our original total interest is $560,000. Even by paying an extra $100 every month, you'll be saving something like $70,000. And we're seeing it here with $500, you'll be saving $230,000. If you make even more additional extra payments each month, you'll be saving even more. And again, the amount that you pay extra is really up to you. If even $100 is too much, then you can do $10 extra, or maybe $20 extra. You can even do $50 extra. The whole goal is really just to be able to pay a little bit more every month so you can ultimately reduce that total amount of interest cost to you. And there's definitely strategies where you can reallocate your resources to have that additional savings at the end of each month so that you can apply that to your mortgage and reduce the total interest cost to you. For example, where I am, $100 is a somewhat fancy dinner for 2 people. So for me, I can just skip that dinner and then I'll be able to save an extra $100 to apply to my monthly mortgage. And there's a lot more that we can say about resource allocation, but that'll be for another video. So I hope this video was useful to you. Mortgage is just one aspect of personal finance, but there's many others. If you did like this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.